Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our information session. And I will stop sharing here in a moment. I just wanted to take a couple minutes here just to review what our agenda is for tonight. We don't want to take up too much of your precious time. So we're just going to do an introduction of our panel members. And then we'll go through what are the rewards of an LPN orthopedic career. We'll do a brief program overview and then a brief overview of what the modules are. And then we'll talk about employment opportunities, what your next steps are. And then we'll have an opportunity to review questions. So you'll notice that this is a webinar. So instead of putting questions into the chat box, you have the option of putting a question into the Q&A box. And you just open the Q&A window to ask your question of the host and panelists. And then we can either reply back to you via text in the Q&A window or answer your questions live. So, and then you just push send in the Q&A box. And so it's an efficient way for us to keep track of questions versus trying to keep track of a chat box. So hopefully you'll find it easy to use. So I just wanted to introduce our panel, and I'll stop sharing here so you can see us a little bit bigger than what the thumbnail will be. So for myself, my name is Cindy Meisner, and I am a program coordinator at Okanagan College. I do look after a number of different health programs for Okanagan College in the Continuing Studies and Corporate Training Department. And then I also have Verna Simpson and Julie Deas joining me, so I'll let them each introduce each other, or themselves, sorry. Go ahead, Verna.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for attending our information session this evening. So I'm Verna Simpson, and I'm a program administrator with Okanagan College. And my portfolio consists of developing new programs. So this particular LPN Orthopaedic Certificate, I worked with ministry and health authorities to develop this training. And I take the training through education council processes and get all the I's and dotted and T's crossed so that in the end you've got a designation of a certificate. Pass it on to you, Julie.
And I am a professor in the biology department at the college and teach nursing courses, among other things. And I've been teaching in continuing studies for a long time, developing courses such as the practical nursing anatomy and physiology requirement for entry into the practical nursing program, medical terminology courses, and I was involved in creating a couple of courses for the gastroenterology nursing certificate. So, and I have a love for technology, so this is going to be a fun course for me to be involved in.
Excellent. Thanks, Julie. All right, I'll go back to the PowerPoint here. So next I'll ask Verna to talk about what are some of the rewards of an LPN orthopedic technician. Verna, you're on mute.
Thanks, Cindy. So as this program is designed for current practicing LPNs, so you've already had the experience of working as a LPN nursing, and taking this role on, what you're going to be doing is you're advancing your knowledge and skills in the area of to develop an orthopedic, to develop the skills and knowledge to work with practitioners and medical practitioners. So you're going to be building relationships with patients and staff in possibly a different area than what you're currently working in. And, as a nurse, you're going to be having that, you're going to be helping people, providing compassionate care, because when people come in and they've broken something, they need that specialty nurse working alongside doctors, and you're going to be performing some interesting tasks and with some interesting people as well, because the program is going to be offered, you're going to get training in pediatrics and, the adults, and for the elderly as well. So it's going to be quite vast. You're going to be learning the casting and splinting techniques. Later on in this information session, you'll see where you're going to be getting some of that training. And you're going to be also learning how to work with specialty orthopedic devices. So it's going to be, you're working directly with nurses and doctors, and just, a specialized team.
Great, thanks, Verna. So next, we want to introduce who the 3 instructors are that have developed the program, and then also will be instructing the program starting in January. And we've already introduced you to Julie. So we will have this PowerPoint available on our webpage later if you want to take another look at it. I'll let Verna speak to a brief summary of Jim Fishley's bio.
So Jim is one of our developers and instructor that comes to us from the Interior Health. So he's been working many years, 28 years as a nurse and 20 years as an orthopedic technician. He's taken some training specifically to become an orthopedic technician, which was valuable in designing this program and developing the curriculum. So, Jim will be coming to you. He'll be teaching a couple of the courses in the program, and having the knowledge of the development of this curriculum. He and the next instructor I'll introduce, they're very well versed in not only the courses they're teaching, but all the courses that you'll be getting in this training. And our next instructor is Shannon Sluggott. She comes to us from Northern Health, and she too has been working, has taken specialty training to be an orthotech, but she started out as the LPN and then got her specialty training. So she is working alongside orthopedic surgeons, which Jim is as well, which once you get this designation, you'll be doing the same. And yeah, so both Shannon and Jim were very involved in the designing of this program, the curriculum development and teaching. So we've got a nice group, Julie, Jim, and Shannon, that are going to be orchestrating together to develop this training for you guys.
Great, thanks, Verna. So I'll give a brief overview of the program. It will be starting on January 10th, and it will actually run until the end of October. And that's because it's offered on a part-time basis. What we're anticipating is that you'll spend about 10 hours a week on each of the stated courses that you'll be moving through. And then there also will be your practicum that would take place at the end of that time frame. And practicums will take place based on availability at different practicum sites that are able to host all of the competencies that will be required for your practicum placement. So tuition for the program is $7,620. That will be split into 2 different payments, and we will provide more information upon your registration. And I'll let Julie talk to textbooks, which will be used via online resources, and how the delivery will look.
Okay, so when I was discussing how we could develop this program based on the experiences that Shannon and Jim had when they took the program out of Alberta for their training, we decided that we wanted to make sure that we had great resources available for the students that were free, and so that you don't have to go hunting to find answers to questions. So what we're using in Moodle as a specific method of delivery of the content that you can access from your device, or you can print as a Word document and then have paper versions. And there'll be links to the various textbooks, some of which we've got licenses for through the library, but they're online textbooks. But again, if you want paper versions, you can save as a PDF and print what you need. And the idea of 10 hours a week roughly to work through the material asynchronously. There's still interaction with your classmates. We'll have forums and other activities that will get you interacting with other people, but asynchronously, so you can work on them whenever you like.
Great. Thanks, Julie. So I'll just run through what some of the admission requirements are and the program requirements. And then if anybody has any questions, we'll take those at the end. So admission requirements, you are to have an active practicing license as an LPN. And you don't need to provide us with a copy of your license. We can actually confirm that with the registry. You will require to provide us with a minimum of 2 years full-time equivalent acute care experience. And we have a form that can be completed for that to meet that requirement. And then regarding your practicum placement, we actually will be submitting a practicum placement request through HSPNet on your behalf. So for that requirement, we actually just need you to complete a HSPNet student consent form. You are required to maintain your CPR level C, and then either a current Red Cross standard first aid or St. John ambulance standard first aid. And then as far as the criminal record check, that is something that we do through the BC Ministry of Public Safety and the Solicitor General's Criminal Records Review Office. It is not done through the RCMP office. And we actually send that instructions out to you once you receive a conditional acceptance offer via email. So don't do anything regarding that until you're instructed as to how to do that. And then we do require proof of one of the following, either a wound care competency or wound care training within the last 2 years. And that can be done by providing us with an email indicating what your wound care training and competency is. And then we'll review that and have that considered by one of our instructors. As far as program requirements, we will require results of a tuberculin testing done no more than 6 months prior to the date of application, and then up-to-date immunization records based on your vaccinations listed there from 1 to 7. And we have all of this information available on our program website. It also will be emailed out to you if you have applied. And if you have any questions regarding that, we will have contact information a little bit later in the presentation. And before we go into the review of the program, let me see if I can find. No, I'm going to let Julie take it over on this, and we'll possibly do a polling question next.
Okay, I'll give you time to set up the poll. Okay, so we're going to start with the anatomy and physiology, very specific to your future career. So we'll be going into quite a bit of detail with ligaments and bony landmarks of lateral and medial knee and so on. And then the Patho course, the second course, that one will be taught by Shannon. And in this one, we're covering the various disorders associated with the musculoskeletal system that you might face in your profession, and the safe care and so on with that. So it's pretty advanced. material that you'll be looking at, but she's been creating some amazing PowerPoints with lots of images and becoming quite familiar with reading x-rays, looking at the pathologies. Then the 112 course is this orthopedic specialty skills. You'll learn the theory behind some of the skills, and Jim has been creating lots of videos. I've been going into the clinic with him and filming. His wife is our subject, and we've been putting on every possible splint and cast you can imagine. And then he's actually taking those videos and adding interactive questioning. So if you've ever seen like Coursera online, lots of online courses, they have these videos and questions pop up on the screen. Well, he's making things like that for you to help you learn the different skills. And then if we want to go on to the next slide.
You bet.
There we go. Then there's the practicum preparation. So for this one, he's going to provide you with web world so you can practice the wraps, learning some of the different wrapping techniques. And you'll be asked to present your skills by uploading videos of what you've been doing. And this course should get you ready to just go straight into your practicum and be hands-on. And then the final course, the 114, the practicum itself, we have created a skills checklist that you can take with you, and you'll be working through the skills checklist, making sure that you're able to do a thumb spica. I'm learning all these fancy terms like thumb spica and the boxer's fracture cast and all the positioning and getting it just right. So you'll have the training in the previous courses to go out and do it practically. And one of the things to focus on is the checklist is not just about skills, it's understanding the anatomy, being able to explain it to your preceptor and to a patient, and also describe the pathology behind it. So we're trying to pull it all together in this practicum component.
Excellent. Thanks, Julie. And I have a poll question just to break things up here. Really easy one for all of you participants. So we're just curious, have you applied to the program? And if you can just enter your response there into the poll question, and we'll share the results here at the end. Just give you a second. And I'll share the results. So 5 out of 7 people have applied to the program. 1 has not, and 1 will be. So that's exciting. We're really happy to have you joining us today to give us an opportunity to share more information about the program, and then at the end for you to ask questions as well. All right. So next up, we'll talk about employment opportunities. Verna, are you able to touch on that one?
Yeah, so, you know, as LPNs going into this specialty area, you may already have a good idea of where you may be wanting to work. But most of the LPN orthopedic technicians, they end up in class clinics, ambulatory care clinics, emergency rooms. So depending on which, if you're going to work in a hospital, where it is you want to end up, a lot of the orthopedic technicians find the emergency room quite exciting. And so it just depends on where you feel that you're going to want to end up.
Great, thank you. So next step. So for those that haven't applied to the program, your next step is to apply to the program, and you can do that right on Okanagan College's main webpage. And then you can type in apply at the end of the webpage address, or it should be fairly easy to find on the front page. And please note, when you are applying, you actually are choosing the faculty continuing studies. And this program is entered under distance education because it is offered in an online asynchronous format. So then your second set of steps for this would be to provide all the documentation to meet your admission requirements. So what I reviewed with you today, there may be questions that you have with that, and then Leslie and I will definitely help you and to get you through that process and into conditional admittance. The third step then is to pay your deposit and register for the program, and then to confirm your payment for the rest of your tuition as it's due in December. So I think what I'll do now, I'll do another poll question. Here we go. Just curious where everybody actually is from. And I'm wondering if you're in the Interior Health region, or are you in Northern Health? Maybe you're in Fraser Valley or on the island or other. And look at that. We have 8 out of 8 of you are in Interior Health. So that is what we are expecting. Verna can speak to the involvement of Interior Health in the development of this program, and they have been big supporters, and we are happy to welcome Interior Health employees and those wanting to take the program from any health region. So we covered next steps. So for further information, you can contact myself, Cindy Meisner, or Leslie Stevenson. And our emails are here on the slide, as well as Leslie's telephone number. Leslie is away this week, but she is returning to the office next week. So you're stuck with me for this week. But otherwise, Leslie is registration and admissions clerk, and she can answer all those tough questions you have about admission requirements, but I'll do my best when she's not available. So now is the time for questions. I'm sure you have many. So if you are able to turn your microphone on, you want to ask us with voice, you can do that. Or if you want to put it into the question and answer box, that's totally fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with doing. We have a quiet group here tonight. There must be some questions. I know it's a lot of information to take in. But please, if there are any questions that we can help you, go ahead, Shannon.
I was wondering if we are registered, like if we got specialty education funding with our work, do we have to go through this whole registration program with you, or did they do that?
If you're referring to Interior Health and the very recent list that we just received, no,
Yes.
They weren't able to confirm anything with us. So we will be going through all the admission requirement steps with you. And I am hoping to get that list of information sent out to you. Basically what I covered in the presentation today, but I'll send you in a bit more detail as well. And
Okay.
then you can just get that in as soon as you're able to.
Okay. Oh, what else? Oh, okay, what about the wound care? Okay, I have another question. How do I get back there?
Go ahead if you want, Shannon.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I have for the wound care course, like I've worked in acute care for the last 20 years or what have you, but for like actual courses I have taken, I haven't done anything recently. Is that a barrier?
For wound care, you're referring to specifically?
Yeah, like I've worked on 4 West on the surgical units and what have you, but I don't have any of the actual wound care courses. So is that a barrier?
No, not at all. No, so as I put in on the slide there, just send us an email with what your competencies are or what your experience is, and then we'll review that. And then if we need further information, we'll let you know.
Okay. And then is it that after every section, we have an exam, and then do we have one big final exam at the end?
Make sure my mic is on. Yes, there is a big exam at the end, but you'll be working on a project throughout the course, and that
Okay.
exam will be open book.
Okay.
So it's not designed to trip you up. It's designed to consolidate your learning.
Excellent. Okay.
Excellent question, Shannon.
Yeah, you don't have anything right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. I think I'm good for my questions.
Okay. And then if not, Shannon, just feel free to reach out to me via email, and
Okay.
I'll do my best to help you.
Super. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Carol Elliott.
Hi, I just have a question about practicum placement, and I'm wondering what that might look like in the end. I work in a hospital here that does have a casting clinic, and I'm wondering if it most likely will be done in our hometown, will be expected to go to other communities, or what will that look like?
It's really hard to tell until we put in those placement requests, and to see how many requests are going to be received from certain areas. We're going to definitely do our best to try and match you as best we can to definitely a hospital in your home area. But if you're not able to go right away, it may be something that has to be delayed, a bit of a time delay based on availability of preceptors. And from what I understand, some of the clinics are a little bit smaller in some of the hospitals. So definitely how many students they can take on at one time or success in succession will depend as well. So we do our best to match you as best we can. Don't know, Verna.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the program is designed so that our students, this is for LPNs throughout BC. So the program is designed so that we can try and get you into a practicum close to home. So if there is a hospital that you are working at or want to do your practicum, if you can let us know, and then we can look at when you get to be placed through the HSP net if there's availability there. But you can certainly raise some flags for us as to where it is that you would like to do your practicum.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, Carol. Is that all? Is that your only question so far?
Yeah, for now.
Perfect.
Sorry, I think Shannon spoke previously and she answered actually all my questions. It was great.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
And Shannon, did you have another question?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
think I'm
saw
good,
your,
thank you.
okay, I
Well-
saw your hand go up, so I wasn't sure if that was from before or now.
If we are placed brought in for special education, then would we not do it at our own hospital, our practicum?
It'll be whatever they have arranged for you,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Great, thank you. And thanks, Courtney. I see that Shannon asked some of your questions, so you're good. So that's wonderful. Any
And
other questions from anybody else?
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that Shannon asked her questions.
Oh, this one is, once all prerequisites are in, when will we be informed we have been accepted?
Oh, I'm not seeing that one. So,
Oh, Christy just answered.
oh, it's in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not in Q&A. I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Marnie was wondering, once all the prereqs are in, how will you be informed when you've been accepted? And basically, Leslie will be in touch with you as soon after of your submission of the requirements. But at any time, if you're wondering what is your status and what is your next step, please don't hesitate to reach out to her. She is definitely the one that manages all of those. And she tries to do it in a very timely manner. And that's why we wanted to hold this info session this week versus next week, to allow you a bit of extra time before the Christmas break and also the first week in January, to make sure that you have everything in before the January 10th start date. And Courtney is asking, how is the success rate? I'm going to let Verna take that one.
Well, this program is launching for the very first time in January. So you will be in the very first cohort. And success rate, I'm pretty much anticipating 100%. We're going to have a lot of supports there for the students. Coming in as a Okanagan College student, we've got oodles of supports at the college that are there for you. And I'm sure, Cindy, can you confirm, will Leslie be sending out that information to the applicants so that they're aware of all the other supports that come with the college?
You betcha. That's definitely part of our welcome letter that gets sent out to the students.
And in this program, as Julie mentioned, it's online asynchronous, but there will be an instructor for each one of the courses, and they will have office hours. So it's not self-paced. You're not going to be all alone. You're going to have an instructor there. You're going to have other students there. It's going to be a nice collaborative cohort for everyone.
Thanks, Verna. Okay, I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. These are great questions. And as I said before, don't hesitate to reach out to us, both Leslie and I, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. And I see Carol has another question, so go ahead.
Hi.
Muted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Will there be a skills portion to the program that do we come down to the college at all, or is it all strictly done online and here? Just
Yeah, so the skills portion is still done virtually.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't want people to have to travel and pay the cost of staying in a place for a week of hands-on. That's why we have all these videos for the
videos,
teaching,
right?
and then you'll be producing your own videos demonstrating your skills, and you just use it with your smartphone and upload it to our learning management system, and you're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Great questions. Okay. Well, I think that wraps everything up. Again, if there's any other questions, do reach out to Leslie or myself, and we'll be happy to help you. And I want to thank Verna and Julie for joining me and in our first virtual information session on this exciting new program. And thanks to Christy behind the scenes for helping with the questions and the chat box. So we wish you a good night, and thank you so much for joining us.